Hey there, scholars. We are going to do a really cool lab on evaporation. So in your STEM folder, there are 3 pages. Going, going, gone. That has like a gift wrapping bow in the corner. The next one says going, going, gone. It has a picture of someone holding paper. And then going, going, gone with water bubbles around it. So for this video, you just need this one. And you need to take out one of the brown paper towels that was in your STEM bag. You wrapped a birthday present for a friend using paper on hand and a colorful bow. Just as you were leaving for the party, your wet hand left a print on the gift. How can you make the wet hand print disappear? So what you're going to do is you're going to take this, and you have a cup in your STEM bag. You're going to just kind of get your hand in there wet and then just make a mark. And then you're going to use a timer. If you go to Google Timer, that works. I'll include the link on that page, on this page below or above the video. And I want you to try to get this dry again. Once you're done, I want you to write your starting time, and then write your finishing time, and then elapsed time. And I know we haven't taught this yet. You did learn a little bit in 3rd grade, but maybe ask a parent to help you. If not, you're fine. And then the question is, describe what you did. So here's what I'm going to do, just so you have an idea. I'm going to get my hand in this brown, cup, and make sure the whole thing is wet, and I'm going to press down. Okay? So it's wet. It is very, very wet. And my start time, I'm going to just use my phone. My start time was 5:10. You can also just do like a timer if you want to. But, oops, no. We want a stopwatch. There we go. So 5:10 a.m. or p.m., sorry. You guys will be doing your own. Okay, my job is to get this dry. So I'm going to press pause and let you guys do yours and figure out a way to get this dry without special equipment. No special equipment, nothing that runs on electricity. You just need to get it dry. And if you can't get it dry after about 10 minutes, just put a stop and just describe what you did and write the finishing time and elapsed time. Okay, so I'm going to press pause. Go do the science project, and then come back. Okay, so here is where I am with the brown paper towel. I am at 11 minutes, and I'm just going to go to the 12th minute mark. It is pretty much dry, and so it is 5:22 when I finished, which means it took me 12 minutes to dry this. And here is what I did. First, I tried blowing on it. It was taking too long. Like, I just blew on this brown paper towel, and I was just like, this is exhausting. Then I used a paper fan. That took a while too. Then I just let it sit there, and then it finally, most of it dried. So that is step 1 of the lab. And now I want you to hang on to this. This is page 1. And I want you to click on the next page. And, well, let's discuss real quick. So when you don't have special equipment, really blowing and using a paper fan is the only way. But what I learned is just letting it sit there was probably the best way to let all that water evaporate. So evaporation definitely, letting it sit there definitely is the best out of these 3 methods. But I wonder, what would be a better way? Like, what could we do to let it evaporate faster? And so let's try this page now. We are going to look into trying to evaporate using different methods. So what are some materials you may need? And so now that my brown paper towel is dried, pretty much just from letting it sit there, what I want to do is try 2 different locations and see which one would be a better at or quicker at evaporating. Now, here's the thing. Because you guys are not face to face, it's hard to talk about like controlled variables and things like that. So I'm going to have to explain all of that with you. So here's the thing. When you do an experiment and you're trying 2 different things, or like 2 different methods for evaporation, you got to make sure everything is the same. You cannot be like, oh, I'll make this wet and I'll make this wet and I'll use one equipment for this one and one equipment for this one. Here's the thing. They are 2 different materials. And so then if you're trying like a hair dryer on this one and the sun on the other, you don't know if it was the thing that you're using to evaporate or it dried because of the material. So your paper is the same. Another thing that you got to think about is the amount of water. What I did was I just stuck my hand in here and like made a print. But how do you know it was the same amount of water, right? So to do this, you would use like a graduated cylinder and maybe put it in your hand and make sure all that water is there and stick it. Or maybe use a dropper and be like, okay, the dropper goes till here. That's the exact amount of water that I'm going to throw on here. And that's the exact amount of water I'm going to throw on here. So your variables have to be the same. So let's look at this second page. How can the rate of evaporation be changed at all? So under prediction, I want us to write, so you're going to get 2 paper towels. One's just going to be completely left alone and dry the other one in a different way. So 2 paper towels, and depending on what you decide to do at home, so you might use a hair dryer, you might use a electric fan. I also think like there's a lamp, or you might go put it out in the sun. If you have a fireplace, please make sure your parents are there. Like leave it near the fireplace, but don't put it in the fireplace or right next to it. It might catch on fire. So please make sure you check with parents about that. So predict. I wonder if blank will evaporate the water faster than blank. So decide. I wonder if a hair dryer will evaporate the water faster than leaving the paper towel alone, or I wonder if leaving the paper towel alone will evaporate the water faster than the hair dryer. So I really do wonder, will the hair dryer evaporate the water faster than leaving it alone? So that's going to be my 2 tests. Wet 2 paper towels, leave one alone and dry the other in a different way. If outdoors, put in 2 different locations. So like you could also do a sunny area and a shady area as well. So again, this depends on what you decide. How are the 2 environment tests alike? These are controlled variables. So I will make sure I have a same paper towel, same amount of water, test both at the same time. Because they're going to be both in my room, I got to make sure, like even if I'm using a hair dryer, it's sitting in a room with a room temperature of 70 degrees. And so then the one that's sitting by itself, that's also sitting in a room temperature of 70 degrees. Like they should both start out with the same temperature. The only thing that's different is the method of evaporation. So let's put it to the test. So Like I said, it's going to be controlled. You can't change up the papers, and you got to use the same amount of water. In fact, even the way you spill it on the thing has to be the same way as well. Like you can't spread out the water on one and not spread it out on the other. So I'm actually just going to get a fresh paper. If yours haven't dried yet, you can just take that other brown paper and then cut it in half and then just do one on each side. But if you don't have an eyedropper, you can just like draw a line on your cup, fill the water to there, and then just spill it and then fill it up again to that line. That way it's the same amount. So I'm going to squeeze water here and then pick up the exact same amount of water and squeeze water here. Okay. Now, I'm going to let the water go where it needs to go. And while that's going on, I'm going to get my hair dryer ready, and I'm going to start the timer, and we're going to see which one. Oh dear. Oh. We're going to see which one is. Oh boy. The electrical outlet here does not want to cooperate. Okay, so let me get the timer going on my phone, and here we go. All right, I'm going to use warm. Okay, here we go. Oh, so hold on. I'm gonna let this one. Oh dear, I think I added too much water. Oh gosh. I'm gonna let this one sit somewhere else. Here, I'll just use another one to clean it up. All right, already I've kind of messed up my science experiment, but that's fine. At least you get the idea. Then I'm gonna move this one here and dry it. And here we go. So I know I'm going to be here for a while. I don't want you to just sit there and watch the whole thing. So I'm going to press pause and then keep drying it, and then I'll unpause it so you can see like the progress I've made. All right. So let me just give you an update that this is pretty much dried. There's just a little bit left, and this is the one left completely alone. So clearly a hair dryer can work wonders when you want to dry something up. Okay, so this is completely dried, and it only took 3 minutes and 40 seconds for me. So on my paper, I know it says collecting data, record your measurements, and make a graph on another page. But like this lab clearly took some time. But I'm just gonna write on here, hair dryer 3 minutes and, oh gosh, I forgot what I said. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. And then by itself, like just drying by itself, it's still drying, so I can't even write this down. But it's past the 3 minutes and 40 seconds. So in conclusion, using a hair dryer evaporates quicker than something left alone. Now, on the next page, there's a discussion question that I have. So I want you to answer those, and then there's more to the video, but go ahead and answer those discussion questions.